Hello everyone, welcome back to the World of Web Development by Damilare Idowu Joshua. Today's class will be talking about CSS Selectors, and this video is brought to you by IDOTech. Now, under CSS Selectors, we have different examples like element selector, ID selector, class selector, and so many more. So we'll be looking at each of them in this class. But first, what are selectors? So selectors are used to find or select the HTML element that you want to style. So you have an element you want to style it. We use these selectors to style them, to select them. So you can see they are all listed out here, and we'll be treating them one after the other. Now we'll start with the element selector. Now this is something that we've done before. We have like a paragraph and we want to make it center aligned and or colored. We can use just the element name, that's p. So let's write that, create a new HTML file, call it selectors. So it has a folder, new file. So I'm going to use the shift 1. No. So we're going to add, we're using internal CSS for this. So let me have h1. Let's run this with our live server. You can see. So we have the P. So we just want to center it and make the color red. So let's say this is a paragraph. So by just typing, P, I'll say color red. Um, you can see what we have. We can also do the same for H1. So we use just the element name whenever I want to select it, and it selects all elements with that particular name. Like every element that is H1 will be affected. You can see all the H1 and all the P tag are affected by the code. So now the ID selector uses the ID attribute of an element to select a specific element. The ID of an element is unique within a page. So the ID selector is used to select one unique element. To select an element with a specific ID, write a hash character followed by the ID of the element. So ID like is used to uniquely identify certain elements. So if I give this one an ID like, let's say paragraph, paragraph 1, and no two elements should have the same ID. So if I want to just specify something for that, I can say hash paragraph 1, right? And I will say the background color, violet blue. So now, yeah, there's an error here. Yeah, so you can also change the color if you want to. Now, initially it was red. I can change the color from here to something else. So whichever code I'm writing is only affecting this paragraph. And if I want to do the same thing for the second paragraph, um, I can select this, and maybe for this I can just use, so you can see, if you don't specify the color it will remain red, you know. So ID is used to select a unique element. Now the class selector is used to select like group of elements, and several elements can have the same class. And for example, I can say, I give it a class name. Let's just say body P. Let's just say body paragraph. That's body P. And I can give this one its own class name. And whenever I want to select a class, I have to put the dots and say body P. Let's say I want to change the font family, and I want to use this. You can see I've automatically changed it. Let's say I want to make it bold. I can increase the font weight to maybe something like bolder. You can see now is so ID is used to select unique element class, multiple elements. But when you use the element selector, it selects all that element with that same element name. So we also have the CSS universal element selector, and it allows you to select all elements on the page. So like something like that now. Um, let's say we use the asterisk symbol, and I can basically change the font family for all the text elements by just putting it in here. You can also decide to like maybe uh, change the padding. Say padding 0 dp 0 px 10 px. You can see all the elements automatically has this padding. So whatever it specifies in this universal selector affects all elements. And then we have multiple element selectors. So probably you don't select all elements, you just want to select some of them. You can use the multiple element selector, you just space with comma. So like we have here already, let's say I want to do the same thing to H1 and P, so I can press P. So I have P comma H1, and I can probably delete this. You can see how the H1 is having color red, um, and they are all center aligned. So yeah, I can also add another, maybe H2. I can make this one H2 instead of H1. And you can see that they all share the same property, and maybe I want to specify background color as well. Right. Let's just say, so the reason why the colors here are not changing is because we later specified a background color for both of them. If I take this CSS code and I put it after those codes, um, it still wouldn't change it because the class and ID has a stronger connection to the element than using the multiple element selector. So the only way that will change is if I have to like delete this. You can see every element has this background color but not red. Now this would not change still because I've selected the ID here and I've specified a color of white. So the next is descendant element selector. So these select all elements that are descendant of a specific element. So here we have like a div. So a div allows you to like partition your website, like divide it into different segments. And in this case, we have like three paragraphs that are within this div and two that are outside. And what you can see here is that only these divs, only this paragraph that are within this div are having these properties that are specified. So a quick example would be if I have a div like this. So you can just delete this for now. You can also delete all this. So I'll put this paragraph 3 inside another div. Now in it can be inside a div or maybe a section. Now section, like we need to divide um, maybe an article into different you know sections. Like maybe you have like article 1, article 2. It works like div, but it usually serves a more deeper meaning than just using div. Div, can just be used to divide the website into different sections. It allows it to be easier to, edit that particular region. And most time when we are building a website, we have lots and lots of divs, and we have like you're using the word descendant. So descendant doesn't really mean direct children because we also have another element that has, we call it child selector. So let's take for example, you are, as a father, you have like a child, your child has another child which is like your grandson. So your grandson is your descendant, but he is not actually your direct child. So if we should use the um, descendant selector and we say color, let's just say purple, and we say align text align, let's just say right. So you can see all the paragraph in this div, even the one that is not a direct child is aligned to the right and has this color. Now the ones outside the div, nothing is happening to them. Now if we then move to this next one that has to do with child selector um this one works only with the children. It doesn't really have any relationship with the descendants. And instead of just like a space here, we have the greater than sign. And you will see that what will happen here is paragraph 3 is actually inside the div, but it is not a direct child. It is inside section, and section is inside the div. So it will not be affected. So um, it is not a direct child, right? So it is not affected by the properties we specified here. So the next we also have adjacent sibling. Now adjacent sibling means like an element that comes immediately after a particular element. So as we have here, we have this div with two paragraphs, and we have paragraph 3 that comes immediately after this div. So only this paragraph that comes immediately after the div, this element would be affected by the property specified here, and we use the plus sign, the addition sign. Then I press plus, you see paragraph 4 is the only one that will be affected because it comes directly after the div. So that is it. If we want maybe both paragraph 4 and 5 to be affected, right, we can try and do something like this. So you can see paragraph 4 and 5 are already inside the div, but this is not working because here we specified p element that comes after the div. So we have to change this to a div because it is a div that has this element that wants to affect everything in this other div. So if assuming we give this like a class name, maybe second, we just put it that way. So then you have to type maybe something like, and you can use something like dot second, right? And it will affect the element with this class name that comes immediately after this div. So the attribute selector allows you to select elements with certain attribute, like maybe ref attribute, with attribute, whichever attribute it has. You can select element that has certain attribute. So for example, we have like an anchor tag here, and let's just say this anchor tag takes you to maybe Google, right? And you have the ref. Now you can just type www.google.com. It's also good to add this. So you come to your style tag and add your. So we want anchor tags that have the ref attribute to have a color of um, let's say yellow green, and probably we want say text decoration on, so that removes the underlining stuff. So yeah, that is like, and you can also use different attribute. Like I said, there's also like the target. Maybe you want elements with the target attributes. Now target attribute helps to specify how you want the link to open, maybe on the same tab or a new tab. We can do that with so this blank is like it opens a new tab. So we can say maybe, since we've done this other thing, we can say font size, right? So, and if you click on it, it opens a new tab. There's also other options here, like parent, self, top, and like I said, they specify how the tag should open, either maybe in the same tab, a new tab, or a new window, right? And we have pseudo class selectors. Now, pseudo class selectors allows us to define a specific state of an element. So, for example, maybe when you mouse over an element, maybe how you want to style a visited or unvisited link, or when you click on that, how do you want it to behave? So we have, like, you can see this column here, right? That's the symbol, and you can see, let's do something quick. So we have like a hover, right? Color red. So whenever my mouse hovers over this, the color changes to red. And I can also say, okay, a visited, a column visited, right? And maybe when it's visited, the color should be purple. And you will see the color is purple because I've already visited this link. So now the last one we have here is the pseudo element selector, and this allows you to style certain part of the element, like maybe the first line, the first letter, uh, probably add the content before the text or after the text. Like in this case, you can see they added, this logo, after this heading or before it, and here it is the first letter, the first line. So let's say we have like a paragraph, right? So we have a paragraph, and say this is the first line. Let's just add like a break here. This is the second line, right? You can see that. So we can say paragraph P double column, first line, color orange. So you can clearly see that the first line is color orange, and if you want to change that, you can also say first letter instead. So only the first letter in this case. So you can also try out this one, specify the path to maybe an image, and you can say that if you want it to come before it. Now this is used for like maybe logos. You want the website name and the logo to be close to it. This can be quite useful for stuff like that. Or you want like an emoji before it text, you can also do this with that as well. And for the tags here, we have differentiate between the term descendant and child of a div. So what's the difference between the child and descendant? And there's a state three more examples of pseudo class and pseudo elements, and use them to style a web page. So you state them, you also style. So just try to ask yourself those questions, do those things. Um, Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment if you have any question. Have a nice day.